This is our grand entrance. Okay, it's actually kind of small, but we love it. We try to keep it decorated nice. We have a lot of fun old cameras that are really a conversation piece that keeps me engaged with my clients when they come in. And it's also more of a first impression. When they walk in, we want them to see a nice, clean, organized studio. It's really important. Follow me. So welcome to this room. This is a consultation room, but it also doubles as a dressing room if needed. So in this room, before a portrait session, we'll sit with our clients and discuss what time of day their portrait's going to be, what we're going to wear, what backgrounds we're going to use, the style of the session that they need. And then, of course, we talk all the logistics of turnaround time and editing and how we choose their images. So this is our production office, and this is really where the brains are. This is Bailey. She's here. She comes to work every day. So this is Tina, as you've met, and Tina handles all the editing, any type of Photoshop or editing work, getting clients turned around on time, get the images out the back door. And this is Elizabeth. Wave, everybody. Yay. Elizabeth handles my schedule and estimates and phone calls and emails, and I could go down the list. Without these two, we wouldn't be in business. This room isn't as pretty. It's not as fancy. This is my camera room, and I want to walk you through my equipment in here a little bit. I think you might find that interesting. So I have this gorgeous old camera stand that I just love, so I keep using it. Oddly enough, Regal RK is the company, and they're still in business. So it's quite nice. You don't have to have it, but I love it because I can work on the floor with a child, come down and photograph a little one if I need to, so it gets down really low, and then come up and do a corporate headshot, or get really high, tilt the camera all the way down and do product and commercial photography, which you'll see. Okay, so we're going to come together here and show you that. This table over here is my sensor cleaning. I clean all my own sensors in my cameras, and so I take care of my lenses, sensor cleaning, battery charging, basically any kind of maintenance I do on all the cameras I have. I think using a camera service to clean it is great, but the amount of cleaning I was having to do due to the volume of work we do, I decided to bring it in-house and do it myself. So it was $75 to $100 somewhere else to get it cleaned, and I was cleaning it every week. So I've learned how to do it myself. Here we have Novatron lighting equipment, which I'll explain in a moment. I love to use the Red Wing boom arm. Same thing, if I want to have a child on the floor with sets and props and all of that, I can work really low. If I want to bring it up, I can bring it up and work with adults and move it around for large groups and so on. So this is my key light, and then I'm also working with what you would call a separation light or a hair light, pardon me, up in the ceiling. So the hair light is something that would take somebody off of a background. If I'm using a black background and they have dark hair, the separation light will create a little contrast from the background so that you can see who they are. Also have background lights that hang from the ceiling, and there's a power pack that operates those, and that's for shooting high key when I want to get a perfect white background. Those strobes will fire simultaneously with the other lights. This is old, it's homemade, and it belonged to my mentor. I learned photography from a gentleman named Bruce Evanson. He owned a studio here in town for years, and I interned with him. Bruce always made his own photo lighting diffusion because he didn't want to spend any money. So the comments always were he would point at his wallet and go, I want to keep my money right here. So this softbox is homemade. He took it to a welding shop and had them weld it, believe it or not, and pull it together. And so there's metal in there. And then inside, it's a typical softbox. Let me take one more off so you can see here. And then kind of get a peek in there. Can you see in there with that? Look at that. So then there's two bare bulbs that are in there, and you can see what it looks like. One of the things I want to tell you with my lighting equipment is this. The lighting equipment in my studio, I retired it to here. It's older equipment. But the biggest thing I like to say is when it comes to lighting anyways, I don't chase after new equipment. I spend my time chasing after new clients. Light is light is light is light. As long as you diffuse it properly and the source that you're using is working, then continue to use it. because, as my mentor said, I want to keep that money right here in my wallet. So the idea is my clients don't ask what lighting I use. The only other people that worry about that will be my peers that are in the industry. So I have more modern lights that I take with me on location to do our school portraits and all of those things. What I like in my studio is I use a lighting system that's known as the locked down lighting system. Don't misunderstand that. It doesn't mean the studio lights are locked down, we never change them, and we can't be creative. Quite the opposite. I can get about 30 different looks with this system by changing one light and changing the pose. It's so simple and so easy. I love the lockdown lighting system because it allows me to be creative. I'm working on composition, expression, and light, but it makes it easy. I don't want to have to do a light meter every single time I turn on my studio lights here at my studio. We do things like that on location because there's variables. But in here, I leave everything exactly the way it is and have it set up so that when I turn it on, I know exactly what we're going to get, and then I make those creative changes as we go. It frees me up to spend more time getting the client to laugh and get expressions out of the children and all of the things that we do. So the big softbox behind us is 4 foot by 8 foot. Why so big? I know everybody's going to ask that. Well, the idea of that is I never have to move it. If I have to work on the floor with a child, it's big enough that it's going to reach the floor. If I have a large group in the camera room, it's going to cover the whole group. If I have a tall person, it covers a tall person. So what's nice is it's mounted to the ceiling. It hangs right where it's at. If I need to, I can change the power setting to have less fill or more fill, but the width of the fill, the size of the fill makes it a beautiful light, and it works really well because it covers everything at once. So that's why I've kept this old homemade softbox for so long. I love it, it works really well, and it gives me end results that my clients just love. We have numerous backgrounds in the studio. Some of them are chain operated, some are electronically operated so that you can see if I needed a black, then I just bring it down. Okay, that's the part you walk on and it comes down. That is a 10-foot wide by 20-foot long black background that I use quite a bit. This is a hand-painted canvas that we use, and actually it's my favorite. I'm a big fan of a little bit lower key portraiture, and even with an adult, depending on where you photograph them on it, it's not always a scene. Sometimes it's just about the tonality behind it, and so I use this quite a bit. I like to have a background that's darker than my subject so that the subject stands out, so the viewer's eye of the photograph goes to the main subject. All right, guys, so our media room is a place for us to sit with our clients and share the work that we did for them in person. It's really important. We have a digital projector on the wall up here, and that projector creates an image over here on a screen. Our clients sit right here, and they'll take a look at the screen, and that's how we pick and choose their images. So we'll do an on-location photo shoot. We'll spend time with the client at a different date that we book up front before we even do the photo shoot. They come back into the studio and we spend our time with them picking and choosing their images. We go over retouching, color correction, cropping, and of course, what are they looking for? We talk about that in advance, and then we talk about it in this room. I personally fell in love with the print years ago, even in the digital era. I love to hang a print on someone's wall when we can. We do sell digital files as well. Some people frown on that. I do both. The program that we use allows us to show our work in their home. Client sends us a cell phone photo and of their home interior, and we can do two size the image above their couch, above their fireplace, somewhere in their home, so they can get an idea of what it's going to look like and what size they need to fill the space. I have a room that's messy. Nobody goes back here but us, but I'm going to show you a quick peek. This room is full of props. There's nothing left in it except props so that when we photograph children, I can run out here and pick and choose a cute chair that'll match a background or an outfit, but you only get a sneak peek because it's messy. So there it is. That's all you get though. Who wants to come over and clean it for me? Just kidding.